Yeah, all right. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. Go there. Check us out. We've got so much going on. RingsideReport.net, that's the main page. We've got everything MMA there. We've got Dave and Johnny live. We've got Wrestling Uncensored. If you're listening to this on a podcast or on the radio, you can watch this show. You can go to our YouTube page. You can like the video. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel as well. Everything on our website, ringsidereport.net. We have a gigantic show for you here over the next hour. So much pro wrestling to talk about. The month of February is very, very busy in both the WWE and AEW. The whole wrestling business is on fire right now. NXT TakeOver Portland goes down this weekend, Sunday night in Portland, Oregon. We're going to preview that card for you. We'll also talk about what's going on in AEW. Jeff Cobb make an appearance on Dynamite. What's the story with Jeff Cobb, Jon Moxley, and the Inner Circle? Speaking of Jon Moxley, he had an amazing couple of weeks, both in New Japan and AEW. We're going to touch on that. Johnny North, did you see Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki last week?
I saw highlights. That's about it.
It was.
I did see that he won, though.
Moxley did beat the great Minoru Suzuki, the king of New Japan. That was a lot of fun to watch last weekend. Moxley going back and forth, weekends in Japan, and then weekdays in the United States, and then back to Japan on the weekend, and then back to the United States for the Wednesday night Dynamite taping. He did that 2 weeks straight. Super impressive schedule. I don't think anybody's cutting a tougher schedule over the past couple of weeks in pro wrestling than Jon Moxley, right?
Mad respect for that. It's
unbelievable.
amazing.
Not only for the schedule, but also for the matches that he's had. And we're going to talk about Moxley and Jeff Cobb in just a little bit. We'll also tell you about what's going on coming up this Wednesday on Dynamite. So many big matches already announced. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defending the AEW Tag Team Championship against the Lucha Brothers. Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes. That's official for AEW Revolution. This Wednesday night, speaking of Revolution, part of the stipulation for Cody's match with MJF, he has to face Wardlow inside a steel cage. And what better place to do that than Atlanta, GA, the home of TNT, which is the network that AEW is on. And, of course, traditional home to WCW. And now Cody taking on Wardlow in Atlanta. There's also going to be a tag team battle royal to determine a number one contender for the Tag Team Championship. And I guess that match will take place at Revolution, and I'm fully expecting the Young Bucks to win that Battle Royal and set up the Bucks versus Hangman and Kenny for Revolution.
Well, the problem is there's no other top contenders besides maybe SCU, but they already had the match this week, so why do it again? Bucks make the most sense.
And also, a lot of people are booked up for Revolution.
Really? Already?
Well, I mean, a lot of matches are being put together. Cody's booked. Moxley's booked. Jericho. What else is Kenny Omega going to do other than defending the Tag Team Championship that he holds with Hangman Page? And, if he does defend those titles, who does he defend them against? Seems like the Bucks, that's the only option right now. They have a feud going on. Hangman seems mad at the Young Bucks. Kenny's kind of caught in between. A tag team match for the titles at the first pay-per-view of the year seems to make a lot of sense.
He is feuding with Pac, though. He's wrestling Pac, I think, the night or the week of when he's doing the pay-per-view. So maybe Pac and a partner. It's not impossible, but Bucks make more sense because there's a storyline already built in.
Yeah, this is the rubber match with Pac. It's going to be a 30-minute Iron Man match taking place on the 26th of February. The last show for Dynamite before the pay-per-view on the 29th, which I know a lot of WWE pay-per-views are on Sunday, including the NXT TakeOver this weekend, but the AEW show is going to be on a Saturday, the 29th of February, so definitely keep your calendar ready for that one because that's going to be a big, big night in pro wrestling. We're also going to be live doing a watch-along for AEW Revolution right here on the YouTube channel, on Facebook Live, ringsidereport.net for more info on that. That's going to be going down during Revolution, so we'll be watching the show with you as we watch the UFC John Jones fight with you last Saturday night. Always doing watch-alongs. There's always more to find on the YouTube channel and on the website. Speaking of more to find, not just AEW news this week, but a lot going on in the WWE. I'm going to try and run down some of this news, and we'll get to what we can get to here on the show. You know,
Sounds
we've got
good.
limited time. We could honestly do like four hours of Wrestling Uncensored this week. Like, there's so much going on. We could do a 4 or 5 hour show, right? There's a lot going on. So, NXT TakeOver Portland is this Sunday. John Cena is going to return to SmackDown February 28th. Dun, 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 dun. John Cena's back. John Cena's back. And what does that mean for WrestleMania? We're going to talk about that. Pretty interesting that he's coming back February 28th. The day before is Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. So Cena not going to be at Saudi Arabia, but there are a lot of rumors swirling around about John Cena. There's that Twitter account, Wrestle Votes. That seems to be the only Twitter account that has real news from the WWE.
Okay.
Like, a lot of people on Twitter claim to have inside information, the Meltzers, the whoever, all those sorts of people, right? But that Wrestle Votes Twitter account, it's like anonymous.
Okay.
There's nobody trying to get clout or anything from the news. It's just like, here's some anonymous news, and here's what's going on. And their track record is really good. So if you're looking for kind of some rumors that you could kind of take to the bank, the WrestleVotes Twitter account, I got to say, is pretty good. Like, I would say, I know Meltzer brings out a lot of news, and there are all sorts of guys that have news, but, like, what they're giving to you is, a lot of times guesses or, educated guesses or news that they're being fed that may or not be real. I think the real kind of backstage rumor stuff is when you're getting it, A, from directly the wrestlers themselves, or B, from some sort of anonymous source with a legit track record, Because when you're putting your name behind it, it adds another element to it, and you may be getting worked.
Well, with AEW, I think Dave Meltzer has the inside information, so I wouldn't be worried too much about that.
He has the information that they're willing to give him.
Right.
Right? But when you're anonymous, you're finding out information that maybe people aren't willing to give you. Now, there are rumors, all this to say, there are rumors right now around John Cena and his plans for WrestleMania. And the rumors circle around 3 other guys. Roman Reigns.
Probably not.
Bill Goldberg.
Maybe.
And The Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Goldberg seems like the most logical, I think.
Goldberg will be wrestling The Fiend for the Universal title at Super Showdown.
Well, I expect Goldberg will lose, unfortunately.
Roman Reigns is going to be in an Elimination Chamber match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in March. And if he wins, he will get a shot at the Universal Championship, probably at WrestleMania, right?
I believe, yeah, it's pretty much from what local advertisements were saying. This is to see who goes on for the Universal title at WrestleMania. So it's going to be apparently Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Nakamura, I believe Robert Roode, and I forget the other 2. But they've announced the whole Elimination Chamber apparently already.
Yeah, so, of course, card always subject to change, but I think Daniel Bryan's in it, right?
Oh, that'd be fantastic if he's in it.
I think Daniel Bryan is supposed to be in it. It's Roman, Braun, Bryan, Shinsuke, Corbin, and Robert Roode.
Oh, Corbin. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Corbin makes sense. So apparently that's the rumored match. Those guys may or may not be in it, but the rumor right now is that those 6 guys will be in the chamber. And, of course, the winner of the chamber is going to get a shot at the Universal title at WrestleMania, and everybody expects Roman Reigns to be in that match and win that match and go on to face the Universal Champion at WrestleMania. However, who that Universal Champion may be, I think is up for debate right now. Bill Goldberg is wrestling The Fiend at Super Showdown. Bill Goldberg does not lose very much.
He lost last time in Saudi Arabia.
Against The Undertaker.
Correct.
So he's lost in the WWE on this recent Goldberg run to Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker.
That's about it.
And he's also beat them both, right? Has he beat Taker?
He never beat Taker.
Okay, so he beat Brock.
Yeah.
Pretty quick, right? Goldberg doesn't do a lot of jobs.
Nope.
The Fiend has been unstoppable up until this point, right? Smashing through everybody, selling nothing for anyone, looking like he can't be hurt, he can't be defeated. He's going to be champion forever, right?
He should be.
So we have an interesting crossroads here. We have, the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, he is the champion. He is that immovable object. But here comes Bill Goldberg out of left field. He's that irresistible force. He's that guy that very rarely loses. I do not care for the placement of this match. I don't think that Goldberg should be wrestling at this stage of his life. I don't really want to see the Fiend wrestle at all, against anyone, certainly not against Bill Goldberg. I think as far as the match itself, it could be embarrassingly bad. Like, not just bad, but like bad to the point where people are like, oh, wow, the Fiend is really terrible. Like, how come he couldn't do more with Goldberg? What's going on here? Like, it could be that bad. Or people are like, okay, that's enough for Goldberg. No more Goldberg ever again. I think the match is going to be horrible. However, I'm interested to see how they're going to play it. Because Goldberg and Roman Reigns for the Universal title at WrestleMania, that works. Goldberg and John Cena for the Universal title at WrestleMania also works. But then you have Roman Reigns versus The Fiend in like a throwaway match, so I don't know.
I think a better throwaway match is Cena versus Goldberg.
One-on-one.
Right.
Two icons going at it for no reason in particular.
Well,
in a match that will also be pretty bad.
It's a dream match for people, I think. I wouldn't mind seeing that, actually.
Okay.
I don't know if they really want to do that, though. I don't know if that's the direction, because usually what they do is they have a guy come in, a legend at this point, and put someone over, like Baron Corbin. Like, I thought that's what they were going with this. I thought Baron Corbin was going to wrestle Goldberg, and Corbin would end Goldberg.
I could see Goldberg being brought in to put over Roman as the king of the spear.
I can see that one day, but it doesn't seem like it's going to fit here.
Well, why is Goldberg wrestling The Fiend for the title? Like, you have Goldberg beat The Fiend.
Wow.
Who won the title in Saudi Arabia. You have Goldberg take the title from him, right?
Okay, all right.
I mean, come on. Goldberg took the title from Kevin Owens. You think he can't take a title from The Fiend? Who cares?
The Fiend's unstoppable. The way they built him.
Yeah, but Kevin Owens was actually really good on a really good run with Chris Jericho, and for some reason they gave it to Bill Goldberg. And, Kevin Owens hasn't been that over since. So, good job, WWE. Way to build for your future. Stupid. That was dumb.
And then now they're realizing maybe this time we'll put over
Hey,
the
we
guy
screwed up. Let's put over one of our other guys who's not as good as Kevin Owens, but hey, what are you going to do? So, does Goldberg come in here to put over The Fiend, or does Goldberg come in here to show, hey, I'm still Bill Goldberg, beats The Fiend, sets up a match for WrestleMania where he loses to Roman Reigns? I think no matter how you slice it, Roman Reigns is going to be in the Universal title match. I'm just not sure if it's going to be against Goldberg or The Fiend. Because you could easily do Goldberg beating The Fiend, going up to face Roman when Roman wins the Elimination Chamber at WrestleMania, right? Goldberg or he'll win the Chamber at the Chamber, and then he'll face Goldberg at Mania, right?
Okay.
And then when John Cena comes out on SmackDown the night after The Fiend loses the championship, Cena's like, I'm here, I'm back, and I want to make a challenge for WrestleMania. Lights go out, music hits, The Fiend attacks him, takes him out. We're off and running to WrestleMania.
Terrible.
Terrible, but it's Bray Wyatt. That's what he does, right?
I think people wouldn't like that whatsoever. I don't think they wouldn't mind John Cena, Bill Goldberg, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did Baron Corbin, John Cena, because they would love to put over Baron Corbin. I think Baron Corbin's being a legend again at WrestleMania. That's going to happen. Whether it's John Cena or Bill Goldberg, I think John Cena makes a lot of sense because John Cena wants to match WrestleMania. We don't know if Goldberg's going to WrestleMania. He's just here for Saudi Arabia. That's it.
Well, the rumors are that those four guys are attached in some way for WrestleMania. Those four guys are in the mix for the Universal title and WrestleMania. That's the rumor right now.
Ooh, a four-way? No.
Not a four. I don't think it's going to be a four-way, but I could see Goldberg taking it. I could also see The Fiend beating Goldberg. But then Goldberg loses some of that appeal for a match with Cena at Mania. Like, if Goldberg wins against The Fiend, then, okay, Goldberg means something again, and he can wrestle Roman Reigns for the title at Mania. But if he loses to The Fiend, then the match with Cena, it's like, oh, well, here are two old guys that no longer matter. They're no longer relevant.
It's a dream match. You can still sell it like that. You don't lose anything by losing to The Fiend because The Fiend beats everybody, so there's no problem with that. Plus, there's something that can be said for Goldberg can't win in Saudi Arabia. He's got like a curse on him. The streak doesn't work there. It's the opposite.
All right. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't really care that much.
I know.
You know?
I could tell.
Because I'm not super interested in any match that any of those four guys will have at this point. I'm more interested in Cena than the rest of them, and that says a lot. Because I don't really care about Cena right now.
Well, I think it's great for Roman Reigns to come back. Like, he was probably not going to come back and wrestle for a while. Now he comes back. Came back just in time for WrestleMania, but wasn't a title match. And he's going for a title that he had to forfeit. He never really lost the title. I think it's a great story for Roman Reigns.
It's a great story for Roman Reigns. You know, a year after his comeback match from leukemia to win the Universal Championship, take out the monster that no one can beat in The Fiend, and also regain the championship that you never lost. It's the perfect story for Roman Reigns. It should go on last at WrestleMania. It's a really good story, and it's, you know, a long time in the making. The only reason people aren't more invested in it is because it's Roman Reigns, and there's a lot of dog food and Baron Corbin thrown in the middle.
There was a lot.
I mean, Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns have wrestled a stupid amount of times.
And they'll still wrestle
And
again.
they're going to wrestle at Super Showdown in a steel cage. Like, it's ridiculous how much these guys are wrestling.
And probably again in Elimination Chamber. It doesn't end.
Every SmackDown they wrestle. Every single SmackDown, every single pay-per-views for like 6 months. It's ridiculous.
It's a little bit of overkill, and I guess that's been the problem with Roman Reigns, where it's just like we want to see something else, something different. But this is the problem with SmackDown. The roster's kind of thin, unfortunately. There's not a lot of other rivalries for him.
There's nothing.
Unless they want to do Sheamus, but I don't think they want to do Sheamus at this point. They're
Not yet.
slowly building Sheamus.
Yeah. It's not Sheamus and Roman isn't what you're going to do right now.
I could see that be a defense for Roman if Roman wins the title.
Yeah. But right now you're rebuilding Sheamus. You don't want to cut his legs out from under him and have him lose to Roman now, right?
There's really nobody. Not Nakamura, because he's still kind of in the IC title picture. It's tough. There's nobody.
So, you think Goldberg loses to The Fiend and then goes on to face Cena at WrestleMania?
That makes the most sense, I think, yes.
I think Goldberg's going to beat The Fiend, win the Universal title, then go on to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and John Cena's going to wrestle The Fiend at Mania.
Wow. Okay. I'd be surprised by that, but we'll see. I mean, John Cena versus The Fiend, does that really sell? Do people really want to see that? They're not building towards that.
I agree.
But I think
I feel like sometimes at WWE they panic and they go, you know what? We're just going to put Goldberg in there with Roman because that's going to sell. It's going to work. That match is big. We're going to do it. Goldberg, Roman, spear versus spear. Two people that are well-known. Goldberg as champion. Roman taking out Goldberg. I think the WWE probably feels, look, mainstream-wise, Roman getting a win over Goldberg for the title is a way bigger deal than him beating The Fiend. As big as The Fiend is with the wrestling audience, WrestleMania isn't for the wrestling fans that are watching Super Showdown and Elimination Chamber. WrestleMania is for the wrestling fan that watches one wrestling show a year, and that's WrestleMania. And that wrestling fan doesn't know who The Fiend is, but they know Bill Goldberg. And that's who the WWE designs these cards for. They don't design it for the real wrestling fan. They don't design it for us, the hardcore wrestling fan. They don't design it for the diehard WWE fans. They design it for the casuals. And the casuals will like Goldberg and Roman more than Fiend and Roman and whatever else. And the casuals will accept John Cena, the Superman, taking out a monster.
But I think on the marquee, it's a bigger thing if it's Cena versus Goldberg. And you can sell a good story because it's already been...
For the title.
It doesn't need to be for the title.
On the marquee, you want to talk about marquee, Cena versus Goldberg for the title. Goldberg as the Universal Champion. John Cena going up, 16-time world champion. If he can beat Goldberg, he'll become a 17-time world champion, breaking the record. Goldberg, Cena, you want to talk about marquee value, and now you might be changing my mind here. We might be headed towards Goldberg versus Cena one-on-one for the Universal Championship. Can you imagine the outcry from the WWE audience when Goldberg and Cena, two part-timers, get to main event WrestleMania for the Universal title? I don't know where that would leave The Fiend and Roman Reigns, but again, I don't really care. Because Roman Reigns beating The Fiend at WrestleMania, as much as it makes sense and as nice of a story as it is, nobody's really that invested in Roman Reigns at this point. So, whatever. Do Cena Goldberg for the title. At least it's two people that are recognized by wrestling fans or casual wrestling fans, you know? Cena Goldberg, never been done before. Put everything in there, make it for the Universal title. Yeah, do that. I would do that. You know what? Let's do that. That's the smart move. Honestly, you want to sell tickets, you want to sell whatever, subscriptions, pay-per-views maybe. Hopefully not pay-per-views, but subscriptions. Yeah, do Cena Goldberg for the title. That makes sense to me.
I don't think it will sell more tickets because for the title. I think if you just have that match, it's fine. And actually, I think it'll sell more tickets because I think some people are invested in Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. They'd be turned off if it wasn't for the title. I think it's better to go Cena Goldberg. Doesn't need to be title.
A lot of matches don't need to be for the title. Brock Goldberg didn't need to be for the title. Cena Rock didn't need to be for the title. A lot of big matches that the WWE does do not need to be for the title, but they put the title there to elevate the title.
Brock was there. He's still there. So it made sense to have it for the title.
No, it didn't.
Because Brock is the man in WWE.
Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho should have been the title match of that WrestleMania.
It was a title match?
It should have been the Universal title match. It was the U.S. title match, and it didn't get anywhere near what it should have received. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho did some of the best work that the WWE has had in the past 10 years, and they gave them nothing at Mania. So Goldberg and Brock could have their match. That's how the WWE operates, okay? Roman and Bray have been working their butts off all year. They deserve it. WWE doesn't operate that way. They operate with marquee value, pal, and the Universal title with Goldberg and John Cena. That's going to work.
They do, but they also protect their stars. And Brock, Roman, they protect them.
Kind of.
Roman's going to get the title match. You know that's going to happen.
I'm not convinced.
You should be. After Elimination Chamber, I think you will be. Because John Cena currently is not scheduled for the Elimination Chamber.
Card subject to change. You never know. You never know. I am not convinced. I'm not convinced that John Cena will not be wrestling Bill Goldberg for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. And you know what? I'm interested to see what they do and how they play it out. So we'll see what happens at Super Showdown in a couple weeks on the 27th of February. We will not be doing a watch-along for Super Showdown because I don't do watch-alongs for shows in Saudi Arabia. All right?
I thought it was just because the timing is kind of crummy.
Yeah, it's at noon on a Thursday, and I'm usually doing jiu-jitsu at that time, so I won't even be watching it live. So I'll be doing jiu-jitsu. Much better use of my time.
But we'll definitely recap the show on that week's edition of Wrestling Uncensored.
You better believe it, buddy.
So people will be happy by that. And plus you get the preview for the AEW pay-per-view, Revolution, that week as well.
And we will preview NXT TakeOver Portland when we come back. We'll also get to who's going into the WWE Hall of Fame, some new names announced. One I'm very excited about because I feel like this was totally my idea, so I'm going to take some credit when we come back. It's Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. Stay with us. Yo, it's commercial time. Commercial break time. Commercial breaks. Johnny North, I'm going to read a commercial for you and everybody else.
And sing along, too?
I'm going to sing along while I find the commercials to read. I'm going to do a little song while I'm killing time. Is pretty good. Do-do-do-do. Hey, if you guys missed Dave and Johnny Live, go watch that. It was crazy.
Thought it was a good show.
If you missed Dave and Johnny Live this week, you missed so much because Johnny and I, well, Johnny reviewed, show him the book. He reviewed the Gray book. It's a 50 Shades of Gray book. Johnny North revealed a lot about himself. I revealed some about myself, but mostly we learned about Johnny North. It was a creepy good time. It's a Dave and Johnny Live classic. If you missed it, You got to check it out. Go watch Dave and Johnny live. I think most of the Wrestling Uncensored universe is going to be checking that one out because it was wild.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself.
When you started talking about shaving your balls, I lost it, man. I couldn't handle it. Crazy.
Well, when we started talking about, like, dick and...
All right. Let's not go back. I don't want to revisit. It was enough. Go watch it. It was fine. It was a good time for John and for people watching. For me, not so much. But for everybody else, it was good.
Should we talk about lady parts instead, maybe?
No, I don't want to talk about parts. We don't have to talk about parts.
You know, it's funny. We didn't talk about really much, like, BDSM. Like, no whipping, no flogging. Like, nothing.
Okay.
It's too bad. Like,
I'm good with it.
I guess. Clamps, no? Butt
Oh,
plugs?
boy. Okay. So, let's transition, shall we? To our friends over at IP Vanish. What you want to do right now is go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. Why? Because you need a VPN. You need IP Vanish. You need to protect yourself on the internet. It is a very dangerous place out there. There are people trying to hack you. If you're using public Wi-Fi on any of your devices, your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, you need a VPN to protect yourself. And right now, IP Vanish is hooking you up. It's their 8th birthday celebration all month, and new users can earn special savings as part of the deal. 67% off the annual VPN subscription, along with 250 gigs of free SugarSync cloud storage. So go right now to vpn.ringsidereport.net. You get 67% off your annual subscription as low as $3.99 a month and 250 gigs of SugarSync cloud storage. You need a VPN. You need to be protected on the internet. You want to use the internet from your server's location. Get yourself a VPN. Go to IPVanish, vpn.ringsidereport.net. Go now.
Next commercial.
That's right. I got to do another read here, buddy. This is for our friends over at Stitcher. Here at the Ringside Report Network, we've been producing shows for a long time. Many of you have been using Stitcher to stream or download Wrestling Uncensored or Ringside Report MMA. Stitcher offering you the Ringside Report universe as part of their sponsorship of our work, a special offer on the premium version of their show, of their service, rather. So besides all of our shows, you can listen to over 100,000 podcasts on your iPhone, Android tablet, PC, Amazon Echo device, or in your car, on demand, ad-free. Many great podcasts on Stitcher Premium, Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more. It's just $4.99 a month, $34.99 a year. What you want to do is go to Stitcher.com/premium right now, Stitcher.com/premium. Use the promo code RINGSIDE for a free month of Stitcher Premium. So you go to Stitcher.com/premium. It's usually $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year, but when you use the promo code RINGSIDE, you get a free month of Stitcher Premium. Can't get a better deal than that. Who's better than you?
And thanks to everyone who's already subscribed to Stitcher Premium
through
Ringside Report.
Yes, it helps us provide more content for you. Everything that you guys do to support us helps us, make everything better. Upgrade the equipment, provide more content. I mean, look at the shows last year. Look at Wrestling Uncensored from February of 2019, and look at Wrestling Uncensored, the way it looks and the way it sounds, February 2020. That's from a lot of your support. We've been able to upgrade and kind of change things up and make the production value way, way better. We saw a clip this week of our Valentine's Day show from last year.
Yep.
And compared to what we have this year, it's night and day. The production value, the studio, everything we have set up here right now for Ringside Report and Wrestling Uncensored and Dave and Johnny Live. It is incredible how far we've come in a year as far as our production, and that's not going to stop. And with your support, you keep sponsoring or keep supporting our sponsors. You can donate as well, donate.ringsidereport.net. You go on the Super Chat when we're doing live shows. All that stuff helps us make more content for you. So thank you for supporting us. Continue to support us, and we'll keep doing more stuff, and it'll keep looking better and better, sounding better and better, and there'll be more and more content.
Good for everybody.
It's a good deal, right? Good deal. All right, should we get back to it?
Let's do some more wrestling talk.
Okay, then. Do a little AEW.
I guess some AEW. There's TakeOver, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Hall of Fame.
I like these mini Gatorade bottles. Like, they're tiny.
I feel like I would drink that in like 2 gulps.
Yeah, it's like 355 milliliters. The bigger bottles are like a little too big.
The
Like
750s?
Yeah, I don't finish it. You know, I'll drink it. I'll have But these little bottles are like perfect size for me. Perfect. It's like a perfect when I want something to drink. You know, a little refreshing something, fruit punch or whatever.
Well,
Gatorade.
The 750s are like when they're playing sports usually, so that's why they're
Yeah.
so big.
Yeah, but even when I do jiu-jitsu, like I bring a Gatorade bottle, I don't finish the whole thing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I don't finish it. I drink it like halfway. That's why these little bottles are better, because I'll finish it and then I'll get rid of the bottle, you know? What I do is I drink it halfway and then I put it in my bag and then I'm carrying around a half-drank Gatorade bottle for a while. It's annoying. So this, here you go. Drink it. Done. Gone. New format. 355 mils. Give me a fucking sponsorship, Gatorade. What's up?
It's a free plug right there. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a free plug. And, like, I wouldn't mind some free Gatorade. Gatorade Fruit Punch, my favorite.
Not the blue? I just wanted the face.
Yo, I hate the blue. You know I hate the blue.
But I got the face, so that's good.
Oh, my tongue's not red yet.
It's red enough.
Okay. What is this show?
You get kind of crazy sometimes.
You get crazy, bro.
You were watch along, you were kind of like off the hook a bit there too much.
Was I?
Like, I think you like said Dana could die, you wouldn't care. Like, that was pretty bad, man.
I didn't say that.
Yeah,
Don't
you
make
did.
me come back with the John Jones hat, brother. I got the John Jones hat again. I get the powers. I get crazy. John Jones, 345, world champion. What? I got my bagels. Yeah.
No, but you said like, oh, you don't care about a reality show with Dana White, like unless like someone was trying to kill him, like then you'd watch it.
Yeah. I don't want to see Dana White jumping into water. I don't really care about a shirtless Dana White jumping off a cliff. If Dana White's going to jump off a cliff and there's sharks there and he may or may not survive, I mean, that's a more entertaining show. At least there's real consequences there. I don't really care to see Dana White on vacation. Sorry. And I don't want to see commercials for Dana White on vacation when I'm paying for a UFC pay-per-view. No.
Only if his life's on the line. It's kind of weird.
High stakes, baby. Okay? Let's get back to it. All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is the website. Go there. We've got all the things there. If you missed Dave and Johnny live this week, my goodness, you got to check it out. Every year, we do a Valentine's Day special, and Johnny North reviews some sort of 50 Shades of Grey thing. He's reviewed the movies in the past. The past 3 Valentine's Day, he reviewed the movies. This week, he reviewed a book, a 50 Shades of Grey book. Not the original, like a sequel, spin-off, whatever. Johnny reviewed it. It got really explicit. Usually on Dave and Johnny Live, we talk about pro wrestling that we didn't have time to get to here on this show. But this week on Dave and Johnny Live, because it was our Valentine's Day special, we stuck with the 50 Shades topic. Things got crazy. You got to go check it out. If you haven't seen it on the YouTube channel, go watch it right now. It's on our website, right on the front page, ringsidereport.net. You can go into the Dave and Johnny Live tab on the website as well and see all the shows that we do. They're mostly about wrestling, but this week was, different. Johnny North is allowed one show a year to let his freak flag fly, and he does it on Valentine's Day with the 50 Shades and his, feelings.
There are very few times where Dave Simon walks out of the show. It seems to always happen on the 50 Shades episodes.
Yeah, I definitely walk out every time we do one of those. I have to.
Your outrage was fantastic.
Yeah, go watch it. It was a funny time. It was funny. Uncomfortable for me, but I'm sure funny for other people. We got a lot of comments. People seem to enjoy the show. So go watch it right now. Big Johnny North. Let's talk about what's going on in pro wrestling currently. We have a gauntlet match set up for Super Showdown for the Tuwaik Trophy.
What is that?
I don't know, but it's some sort of Saudi Arabia trophy. Andrade apparently will be in this match.
The suspension's over 30 days.
Suspension will be over. Rusev.
I didn't know he's still under contract. Well,
Is he leaving?
I thought there was a dispute, so.
Really?
But I guess he's not.
Yeah, well, they didn't do many favors to Rusev here. Bobby Lashley, who's still with the company. Eric Rowan, who I think still has a thing in a cage. Although I think Shayna ate it this week.
That'd be great if that happened.
I don't know. And then R-Truth, and also the phenomenal one, AJ Styles in a gauntlet match for the 2-White Trophy. AJ's currently hurt. I guess they assume he's going to be healthy by the 27th of February.
I thought they said 6 weeks, but okay. Wow.
You hear the latest rumor for AJ Styles at WrestleMania?
What's that?
The Undertaker.
That's pretty good. I like it.
I'm into it 100%. I saw that. I was like, yeah, give me that all day. Because you know AJ, he's such a great wrestler. One, he deserves a WrestleMania match with The Undertaker because he's AJ Styles. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Agreed.
And two, because he's still great and he's still in his prime and he's still one of the greatest, he's one of the few guys on the roster that has the ability to pull out a great match from The Undertaker.
Probably his last.
Not many guys could have a great match with Taker. Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles.
Yeah, it gets kind of thin after that.
Anybody else on the roster? I think Rey Mysterio could have a really good match with Taker.
I like to see Kevin Owens against Taker.
I don't know.
It'd be interesting.
There are certain guys on the roster that never have bad matches, and AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan are pretty much those guys.
Well, it's not just bad matches, but like phenomenal matches.
Yeah, but like every match they have is good. Even Daniel Bryan's match last week with Heath Slater that was a total squash was good.
I like the promo more, actually, with Slater.
I like the intensity. Bryan's mad now.
I like Slater just like kind of put him down, and then Daniel getting mad about it.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah? Why don't I see you in the ring? I like this angry Daniel Bryan, and I feel like the crowd is chanting yes, but they don't realize that they're chanting yes for an evil Daniel Bryan. I think he's slowly turning evil, and the crowd chanting yes, he's going to be like, yeah, that's right, you're with me, and he's like crazed by it, which I like because he's so good, Daniel Bryan. You could see just the wheels spinning in his head. You could see the little details that he's putting into his promos and his facial expressions and his matches. There's so much that he does that continues to evolve his character. Like, he's so talented. My goodness. Even having a match with Heath Slater, he can do something with that and make you think and make you wonder, what direction is he going in now? There's always movement with the Daniel Bryan character because Bryan Danielson is thinking and working and always trying to figure out what's next and how you progress. And that's why he's one of the top guys in the wrestling business, and that's why he's my favorite wrestler in all the WWE, because he's always doing stuff, taking it to the next level.
Well, I think with Daniel Bryan, unlike a lot of guys, he makes the most of his time. Like, he's not always on every week, but when he's on, he makes the most of what he's got to work with. And that's what separates him from the bottom tier.
That's right. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that don't really maximize their minutes. Daniel Bryan is a guy, every time he's out there, he is fantastic. You want to talk about a guy who didn't maximize his minutes this week? Drew McIntyre, the guy that they're trying to build into Brock Lesnar's opponent for WrestleMania. MVP hosted the VIP lounge for some reason on Raw this week. MVP's a good talker. I liked it. MVP telling Drew not to worry about the people talking behind his back, saying he's not ready to be the WWE champion. And then MVP's like, look, I want to help you, Drew. I want to become your manager, your advocate, like Paul Heyman. And then Drew's like, I don't need anyone to talk for me. And I'm like, I beg to differ. I think you do. I think it would help. And then Drew's like, I won the Rumble by myself, and I don't need anyone. And then he attacked MVP. And I was like, felt like MVP was a babyface there. Don't really know why Drew attacked him. That was bad.
No, he was a heel. He put down the whole crowd and everything. People hated him.
Okay.
People were happy. I
don't know. I felt bad for old MVP. He was just trying to help Drew, and then Drew like beats him up. I don't know, man. I'm not buying this Drew McIntyre thing. I think, again, the promo fell flat this week.
I actually thought it was pretty good. It's something different for Drew McIntyre. You can't just come on every week and just squash people, especially people that weren't even ready for the match. Coming on and doing this, saying that I don't need anybody, I can do it by myself. That shows that he has guts, because it's not easy to do that against Brock. I like this with Drew McIntyre, actually.
I don't. I'm not really into the whole Drew McIntyre thing. Couldn't care less about his match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Ricochet beat Bobby Lashley this week after a nice splash. Ricochet's amazing. I thought that match was really nice. He's going to wrestle Brock at Super Showdown. He'll obviously not win, but I liked his match with Bobby this week.
I thought he killed him on the 6:30.
It was nasty.
Like, it looked like Bobby wasn't positioned correctly, and he almost landed right on his face. Not quite on his face, but he like rolled off, I think, his upper chest, which I'm sure didn't feel too good, and then rolled off his face. That's rough.
It was good. It was a good bump.
Well, I mean, if you're going to lose, I mean, lose spectacularly.
That's right. I mean, it's the finish, right? Bobby's a big guy. He can take it.
I think Bobby didn't realize where he was, actually. And Ricochet's just like, oh, crap, and then tried to readjust, and like, that's the best he got out of it. But I guess Bobby doesn't mind.
Squash.
Well, he didn't squash him. He just, like, flattened him.
No, but it was like, boom.
Yeah.
It was a good impact there on the splash. And I like that, when you go for a top rope move, the impact should be heavy.
Yeah, I mean,
not too heavy. You don't want to kill the guy, but
right.
a lot of times you see guys go up at the top rope and they kind of glide off the guy and they don't really kind of squash him. And it's like, well, what was the point of that? Was there impact or not?
No, you're completely right, but yes, sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. Again, positioning is everything, and if you're not in the right spot, it can ruin the move. Thankfully, they're pretty good and they could work it out. However, I doubt Bobby didn't feel like a lot of pain after that.
Yeah, for sure. It must have hurt. All right. Becky Lynch. Big week for Becky. It looks like, we've been saying it's going to be Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. If you see here, if you're watching the show, you can see we got little Shayna and little Becky here in front of us. They're ready for WrestleMania. They're going to go at it. It's going to be a good one. My son's got a fantastic pro wrestling toy collection, and Shayna and Becky are part of it.
Looks like WrestleMania last year, Becky.
Yeah, it's a current Becky. It's a good.
It's good.
It's a good Becky action figure. Good Shayna action figure. I think it's the only Shayna that's ever been made.
I imagine. I can't imagine anything else.
NXT
that? Get action figures? Wow.
Yeah, and it came with the NXT belt and a little towel around her neck.
It's probably the only ones they made so far.
It's a pretty sweet Shayna Baszler action figure. And if you're watching the show, you can see it. If you're listening to this show, come watch the show so you can see us and you can see our toys.
It's your toys, actually.
Well, my son's toys, actually. It's not even mine.
It's all Zeb's.
Oh, I pay for them, so really, whose toys are they?
Well, he does tell you what to do, so.
Yeah, he tells me exactly what to do. He's 2.5. He's in charge of the household at this point. What am I supposed to do?
You just pay for it.
Yeah. Becky Lynch beat Asuka this week after the Beck Bottom, is what I'm calling it. It was a Uranagi. It was a rock bottom. But, hey, Becky Lynch, it's the Beck Bottom.
You know, it's funny. She does, like, the Beck Bottom, right? And she told, like, The Rock's daughter that she shouldn't do the people's elbow. I thought that was hilarious.
She told her she shouldn't do the people's elbow?
No, she should do it. She should come up with something original because everyone's going to think, oh, you're like The Rock. You can't come up with anything yourself. Yet she does the rock bottom this week. I thought that was funny. And plus, Becky's done, like, the people's elbow before in the past on house shows.
Yeah.
I just find that hilarious.
I think, The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson, signed to a developmental deal this week, reported to the Performance Center. Charlotte Flair, her father had the figure 4. She has the figure 8. Maybe Simone could work out some sort of people's elbow springboard move, like a springboard elbow with people involved.
I don't think there's any problem with, like, doing moves that, like, your dad did.
Yeah, do the rock bottom. I mean, you're The Rock's daughter. Do the rock bottom. What do you call her? The Pebble?
Like,
what's her wrestling name?
Oh, I have no
Simone
idea.
Johnson? Simone The Rock Johnson? What do you call her? What's her name? Ashley Flair was Charlotte, and then Charlotte Flair.
Oh, actually, just Charlotte for a while. Remember?
What do they call her? Miami Maivia?
That's actually not bad.
That's pretty good, actually.
I actually like that a lot, actually.
Newest WWE superstar, Miami Maivia. Da-na-da-da-na.
Isn't Bailey's song like The Rock, though? Like,
a little bit. It's rockish. Miami Maivia. It's pretty good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I mean, it's terrible.
You got to copyright that right away. WWE's going to steal that.
I don't think I can copyright Miami. Well, maybe Miami Maivia is like a gimmick name.
Yeah.
All right. That's mine, Vince. All right? I'll tell you what. Give me $100 and it's yours. All right? Good deal. That's cheap.
Just take the credit.
You see how cheap my ideas are? I'll give you great names for wrestlers for $100 a pop. Good deal. Canadian, too.
Or give you a job, too.
I don't really want to work for Vince. I just want some money every now and then. I don't really want him to tell me what to do because that seems terrible, I don't want to work for a mad billionaire. I just want some of his money as like an outside consultant.
Yeah, just take the money and go.
Yeah, take the money, work for myself. I don't want to deal with Vince and his craziness. He thinks Riddick Moss is a good idea. Riddick Moss beat Mojo Rawley for the 24/7 title this week on Raw. I don't know why that happened. Anyways, Shayna Baszler attacked Becky Lynch on Raw this week, and she bit her head.
Well, the back of her neck.
What was that? And then she had all this, like, red stuff coming out of her mouth, like she had taken a chunk out of Becky's neck. That was weird. The way Becky sold it, I mean, I get it. She has to sell it, but the biting, the blood coming out of Shayna's mouth, it was over the top. It didn't do much to sell the match for WrestleMania.
Well, it's do something different, right? I mean, she just comes out there and attacks her. It doesn't do much. But the fact that she bit her, I mean, remember when Tyson bit Holyfield? He was very off-putting, but you're also like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened kind of thing. I think they were trying to go for that kind of moment.
I think it was dumb. I don't think it was good at all. I think Shayna could have come out after Becky had beat Asuka and said, Becky, you beat Asuka, you beat everybody, but you know who you haven't beat? Me.
That's not shocking.
You say you're the man. To be the man, you got to beat me. I'm the man. I'm Shayna Baszler. And then she slaps Becky. She puts on that clutch. She chokes her out, and she leaves her laying. That's all you got to do. You say, oh, and then you, because this did nothing to make you think, oh, she's got Becky's number, she's going to beat her. But if Shayna comes out, reminds you that she beat Becky at Survivor Series, and then completely handles Becky, tosses her around, beats her up, puts a clutch on her, then you're like, okay, yeah, maybe Becky's screwed here. Maybe she can beat everybody but Shayna. But instead, you had this weird vampire deal where Shayna comes out, bites Becky, and then she's got all this blood coming out of her mouth. It was terrible.
I think it's just to give Shayna something. Like, I don't know if this is going to become a thing that she does where she just bites people, but maybe that's what they want to do.
So Asuka's got green stuff coming out of her mouth and Shayna's got red stuff. And it's similar to the red stuff that was in Eric Rowan's cage.
It is, but
it's dumb.
It's something different. It's something for her to do.
Do better, WWE. This was dumb. You tried to overdo it. It could have been simple, easy, and perfect. It could have worked very well, and they tried to make it more complicated than it needs to be.
Actually,
too bad.
They made this like kind of simple, actually. I mean, just a bite to the neck. I mean, that's nothing too bad. I mean, bit her face, then you really got to work.
But why does she do that?
Because she's crazy.
Is she?
That's what that's all to me.
I've seen Shayna before. She's not crazy. Nikki Cross, she's the crazy one. Shayna's just an ass kicker. She's like a Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey type. She's got an MMA background. She fought in the UFC. She beats people up. She's got legit skills. She's big. She's strong. She's tough. She's mean. That's all you need. She doesn't have to be crazy. WWE always wants to make people crazy. Didn't work so well for Dean Ambrose. Look at him now.
Yeah, actually, it's working very well for him, actually.
Well, no. Well, WWE's version of crazy was terrible. His current version of unhinged Dean Ambrose, the Death Rider, Jon Moxley, is very good. What he's doing right now is fantastic. The schedule that he had 2 weeks ago in Sapporo, Japan, on the 1st and 2nd of February, and then going back for AEW in Huntsville, Alabama on the 5th of February, then going back to Osaka, Japan to wrestle Minoru Suzuki in an incredible match last weekend in Japan, and then comes back to Austin, Texas to show up on Dynamite this week. Incredible schedule from Jon Moxley. Hats off.
Really tough to do. Amazing that he pulled that off.
And he's wrestling hard matches the whole way through. You know, he wrestled in the main event of AEW this week against Santana, beat Santana, and then everybody in the inner circle attacked Jon Moxley. And now he's got a match coming up in Atlanta on Wednesday against Jeff Cobb, who's a very tough wrestler. He just wrestled Minoru Suzuki in a knockdown, drag-out brawl. Just an incredible match. Man, Jon Moxley is putting himself through the ringer this month, and it's all going to end with a title shot at Revolution against Le Champion, Chris Jericho, who currently is the only original AEW champion remaining. The first tag team champions, SCU, dropped to Kenny and Hangman this week on AEW. Riho, the first ever AEW women's champion, dropped her title to Nyla Rose. So Jericho is the only first AEW champion that is still a champion at this point in time. And I wonder now, will he drop the title to Jon Moxley at Revolution? Great month for Moxley, but now with Jeff Cobb coming in, it seems like the inner circle's beefed up. Is he going to be the guy to help Jericho beat Moxley or not? Because there are rumors now that Jeff Cobb, he's on his way to Japan. He's going to go do more work for New Japan. He's kind of a free agent at this point. He was under contract with Ring of Honor, but now he's like totally wide open. He doesn't seem like he wants to sign an exclusive deal with AEW. He seems like he wants to do a lot of wrestling over in Japan with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Maybe he's going to do a split deal like Jon Moxley where he wrestles sometimes in AEW, sometimes in New Japan. Maybe it'll be more in New Japan and a little bit less in AEW. I don't know, but I'm a big fan of Jeff Cobb's. I think he is a tremendous professional wrestler. AEW, WWE, New Japan, any major company would be lucky to have a guy like that. He's a guy that wrestled as an amateur in the Olympics for the country of Guam, which is super impressive. You get to the Olympics in wrestling, you're a tough dude and you know how to handle yourself, and you're a supreme athlete. So I have a ton of respect for Jeff Cobb as a professional wrestler and as an amateur. As an athlete, this guy, he's done it the right way. He's old school. Back in the day, you couldn't be a professional wrestler if you weren't an accomplished amateur before that. And I think, you know, if I had my way, it would still be the case where you'd have to be an accomplished amateur wrestler before going into the pros. But of course, those days are long, long gone. However, I still appreciate those types of guys. The Brock Lesnars, the Kurt Angles, the Jeff Cobbs, those types of guys, the Chad Gables, you know, the guys that are able. I mean, Brock didn't go to the Olympics, but, you know, he won an NC2A Division I national title. He won a UFC heavyweight championship. I like the people that have real credits to their record. They are real athletes. They are real fighters, and they are real badasses. And Jeff Cobb is one of those guys. He's a real badass, and I like that in pro wrestling. I think the wrestling business sorely needs guys like Jeff Cobb, guys like Jake Hager, guys like Chad Gable, guys like Brock Lesnar, guys like Bobby Lashley. The wrestling business needs guys like that to keep it in line, to keep it respectable, and to keep it legitimate.
Well, he's also very different than anyone in AEW besides Hager, but Hager doesn't really wrestle, so have Cobb in there, and it's like a whole new style that you don't get to see in AEW, so they definitely need it. However, they're just bringing him right now. He's a hired gun. That's his gimmick. And I guess it's just one match for now. He still has ROH dates that he's doing as well because he's doing the ROH New Japan kind of show as well. So he kind of likes to just keep himself open, which I think is pretty good as a wrestler. Why not? Wrestle more places?
Yeah, you can make good money doing that, you know?
If AEW wants that, sure. Do it.
If he's a free agent, though, aren't you surprised Triple H isn't throwing a bunch of money at this guy? He's a super talent. There's a lot of upside with this guy. Jeff Cobb in NXT would be phenomenal. Jeff Cobb and Keith Lee, imagine that. Ooh, shucky ducky.
But then you're exclusive. Then you can't do all the other dates. Maybe he wants to do the other dates as well.
Yeah, money talks.
Okay, but maybe it's not enough yet.
I hope we see more of Jeff Cobb in AEW. I like Jeff Cobb a lot, and I think AEW is a great place for him. I really do.
I think he should probably stay there for sure because, again, he stands out. He would be great, I think, in AEW.
Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defended the AEW Tag Team titles against SCU on the opener of Dynamite this week. That was an awesome match. So good.
It was good.
So good.
Good opener, for sure.
Dark Order came out to confront SCU, and then the Best Friends showed up, and the Butcher and the Blade, and Jack Evans and Angelico, and then the Young Bucks, and everybody brawled, and then they were tossing each other over the top rope, and then the Young Bucks remained at the end. It was very WWE. You know, it was very like, we're going to do a Battle Royal next week, so here's what a Battle Royal looks like. I was like, yeah, do we have to do this whole thing?
It was just kind of weird. Orange Cassidy, one of the most over guys, comes out during the picture-in-picture moment, and it's just like he's doing stuff, but you don't really know what's going on. It's just pretty much he's there, hi fans, and then bye. It's kind of disappointing. Like Orange Cassidy, you feel like they're going to do something with him, but they never really do.
When will he wrestle?
Well, he's wrestled. He's done like
tag matches.
Right. Singles? No.
I want to see him one-on-one against somebody.
Yeah, they're still
I think after Cody gets through MJF and Orange is the program.
I don't know. That might be too soon, I think, but work his way to MJF. Yes, sure.
Okay. We have Darby Allin. He wants a match with Sammy Guevara. That looks like it's going to be happening at Revolution.
Well, given the promos, because he pretty much challenged him out, right? So, yeah.
And MJF beat Jungle Boy this week after a little bit of cheating with his ring, using the power of the punch with his ring there from Wardlow on the outside. A little bit of help for the win over Jungle Boy. And Brandy Rhodes on commentary this week. It seems official. The Nightmare Collective, that terrible idea, that terrible gimmick is over.
Well, Dr. Luther was on Dark, and he was by himself. So, yeah, it seems like they're just all going their separate ways. Awesome Kong is, I guess, gone because she's filming the last season of Glow. So, yeah, that's pretty much done. But it's for the better, I think.
So Brandy is back to being a babyface and Cody's wife, and that's her primary gimmick.
Well,
right?
Maybe she'll wrestle. I think eventually she wants to wrestle.
No, I'm just saying, like, she's aligned with Cody again. She's a babyface. The gimmick has changed.
Well, I think because they're building up Britt Baker as a heel, they're probably going to have her feud with Brandy, I think.
Great promo from Britt Baker.
It was probably one of her better ones so far, yeah.
I like Britt Baker. I think her promos are really good.
I just find sometimes she's kind of just dragging it a bit, where it's like, okay, you got the heat, but now you can kind of wrap it up there. And it's almost like they want JR to be like, okay, let's cut the commercial, because they just drag, I find.
Speaking of JR, did you hear him? Did you hear what he called the Young Bucks on Dynamite this week?
The Bucks of Youth?
The Bucks of Youth. Ah, yes. It was wonderful.
I think that was not on purpose, though.
Are you ready to be deleted?
We're talking about Matt Hardy at the end of Raw, right?
I think it's time to delete. So Matt Hardy on Monday Night Raw did a promo with Randall Orton. Randy says he knows everybody wants an explanation for what he did to Edge 2 weeks ago. Matt Hardy shows up. He talks about his history with Edge. He's like, there was one time where no one hated Edge as much as I did. Of course, the whole Lita thing. There's a Lita chant coming out there.
Yep.
Matt Hardy will not die.
V1.
Edge screwed Matt. Remember all that?
Yep.
That was big. That was really big. If you don't know what we're talking about,
2005.
Go do some research. 2005, Matt Hardy versus Edge. They had a feud. It was very real. Matt Hardy got fired. Matt Hardy and Lita. Matt Hardy was in an 8-year relationship with Amy Dumas. And then his best friend, Adam Copeland, when Matt Hardy was on the mend, Matt Hardy got injured, and Edge and Lita and Matt Hardy would all ride together from town to town. Matt Hardy gets hurt. Edge and Lita ride together. Matt Hardy finds out his girlfriend, Lita, Amy Dumas, who he had an 8-year relationship with. I'm saying that because that's what Matt Hardy said over and over again. I had an 8-year relationship with Amy Dumas, a.k.a. Lita. Edge ruined it, Adam Copeland. So Edge, so we find out Edge was having relations with Lita. Lita was cheating on Matt Hardy with Edge. This was all real, by the way. This all really happened. Matt Hardy went on the internet and exposed the whole thing. The WWE decided to fire Matt Hardy. And then Edge, whenever he would come out, people would start chanting, "You screwed Matt, you screwed Matt." They would chant it to Lita. It never, ever ended, so much that the WWE decided to rehire Matt Hardy and make it an on-air storyline, and Matt and Edge had to wrestle with each other and have matches, despite the very, very real heat and the real hatred that Matt Hardy talked about on Raw this week. I love the history of the WWE, and that was one of the most famous, greatest storylines in the history of the wrestling business. I don't care what anybody says. Edge was made off that storyline. He became
100%.
the rated R superstar. He became the superstar he is today. It's one of the most memorable things that Matt Hardy or Edge or Lita have ever really done, and it was just so real, so raw, so emotional. It's some of the best stuff WWE's ever done. Their move and the smarts of Vince McMahon at the time to say, you know what, pal, everybody knows about this. Let's bring Matt Hardy back and let's make this into some good TV. It was smart. It was a really smart move. And I think the best wrestling angles are the things that have a basis in reality. You're trying to sell us on this as a real concept. Well, when there's reality involved in the predetermined matches, it makes those predetermined matches feel way more real. And that Matt Hardy and Edge stuff felt very real. But Matt Hardy and Edge, they've both moved on. You know, Matt Hardy's married with children, so is Edge, and neither of their wives are Lita, right? So, you know, they've moved on, and they're friends now. They were best friends back in the day, and they changed the wrestling business together. At No Mercy 1999, they revolutionized the ladder match. They invented TLC, which is a staple of the WWE right now. And saying that right now, to see Matt Hardy in the ring in the year 2020, when we've had TLC pay-per-views and countless dozens and dozens of TLC matches involving wrestlers nowhere near the level of Matt Hardy or Edge or the Dudley Boys or Christian, right? Yeah. But to see Matt Hardy standing there in the ring saying, we invented TLC, and to know that Matt Hardy and Edge are still out there, and I think Jeff is getting ready for a comeback too, Jeff Hardy, to know that those guys are still out there wrestling. I know Bully Ray is still going too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just great to see these guys. These guys are legends. These guys are pioneers, and they're still doing it. Matt Hardy is a living, breathing legend, and to see him say, we invented TLC in 1999, I remember that, but it really puts it into perspective. It's like, man, that was 21 years ago, and what you did back then was really important, and it changed the wrestling business forever. And it's cool to see Matt say that in the middle of a ring on Raw, right?
Well, just to give Matt that moment, because Matt didn't get a lot of moments in Raw, unfortunately. He's been jobbed out quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they haven't treated him like the legend that you say. So to actually give him that moment with Randy, that was kind of huge for him. And if that's his last segment on Raw, in the end, it's going to be very historic.
And it just shows you what the WWE was missing out on Matt Hardy. When he entered the company, there was no one hotter in professional wrestling, and then they took all that away from him. And they turned him into just a regular guy.
Well, he had a tremendous WrestleMania moment. One of the best WrestleMania moments.
Yeah, when they came back.
Right. That was great. One of the greatest moments ever. And I don't think you'd ever want to take that away.
Vince McMahon never got the broken Matt Hardy character. He never got the delete. He never got any of that stuff. It never translated to Vince McMahon, and that's why it didn't happen as much as it should have in the WWE. Vince McMahon brought Matt back with Jeff as a tag team, because Vince McMahon, and you see how Matt is presented now on TV, he's still playing that old Hardy Boys music. He's still wearing that old Hardy Boys gear from 1999. That's the vision that Vince McMahon has of Matt Hardy. That tag team wrestler, he's Jeff's brother. He's not broken Matt. He doesn't care about the broken brilliance. He doesn't get it. Wrestling fans know that Matt Hardy can do a lot. I hope he goes to AEW and tears it up. Wherever he goes, he's going to tear it up because he's a tremendous performer. And if he can do his thing, if you've been watching his YouTube channel, if you follow him on Twitter at Matt Hardy Brand, you're seeing that this guy is working, he's thinking, and he's preparing for his next move. And I hope that next move is in AEW. I think if he is the Exalted One, the leader of the Dark Order,
right,
he would make that group so good. Like the broken Matt Hardy character as the leader of the Dark Order turns this Dark Order idea that's kind of maybe a 3 out of 10 into a 10 on 10 because he takes control and it becomes part of that broken universe. And I think if anybody can save it, it's Matt Hardy.
Well, we'll find out soon enough, right? Because March 1st is coming, so his contract is going to be expiring. He said goodbye, right, in his tweets. So.
He's done with WWE. Randy Orton hit him with the RKO and then hit him with a concerto. When's Edge coming back?
Edge will probably come back maybe a little bit after the Super Showdown, I think.
It's going to be Edge versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. We're just dragging it out.
Well, that's it. I mean, what else are you going to do in the meantime?
Well, Christian's got to come out next week, right?
I don't think we need Christian to take a beating.
Where's Devon?
Devon actually is backstage.
Devon's backstage, right?
Yeah,
he's got history with Edge. Devon could come out and do a promo.
Sure. But Randy has more talking, though, because Randy keeps getting interrupted all the time.
Christian could take an RKO, couldn't he?
I don't think they want to risk it.
I think they might.
I don't know.
Maybe they'll do one of those things where, like, Christian's lying down, like, backstage all beat up, and then Randy Orton's standing over him. You know, when they have guys that they can't physically clear, but they still want to show that they got beat up, they're just like, okay, lie down and act dead, and then Randy's going to stand there, and then we're going to film you, and that's going to be your heat.
That's how Pat Patterson lost the 24/7 title.
There you go.
Yeah, they could do stuff like that.
Yep. All right. So that is what's going on Monday Night Raw. Becky and Shayna, Matt Hardy was written off. Aleister Black cut another weirdo promo, kicking Tozawa in the face. This Aleister Black stuff is not that great. And then Buddy Murphy, Seth Rollins, and the AOP beat Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and the Viking Raiders. Murphy getting the pinfall after some interference from Rollins to distract the ref. Kevin Owens just, he keeps trying to get people to team with him. He wants revenge on Seth Rollins. He just can't ever get it.
It really seems like it's going to be Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins at WrestleMania because they put the focus mainly on it's Seth versus Kevin. That's what it seemed like.
But what about the Raw Tag Team Championship?
Well, they could easily lose those titles quickly, I think. I think they could lose them right back to the Viking Raiders, and you still have Viking Raiders AOP at WrestleMania.
I think there's, Kevin Owens has been looking around, trying to find friends, trying to find a partner.
He has friends.
There's only one guy that Kevin Owens needs to be his real partner at WrestleMania, go up against Seth Rollins and get revenge and get those tag team titles. You know who it is. I know who it is. He's on SmackDown. He's a heel. He doesn't really wrestle, but Sami Zayn is the guy.
Yeah, they seem to
give
happy.
Kevin and Sami like a nice lengthy run as a tag team. Like they're not doing anything, either of them right now. Kevin and Sami haven't had a run as a tag team in WWE. Why not now?
Yeah, but they seem happy having him as a manager, though, Sami. So
I'm not happy with it.
Yeah, but WWE loves it, though, for whatever reason. He talks all the time for Nakamura, so I think that's really a good thing. No, it is a good thing. Nakamura, like the promos, they don't really come across that well.
Okay.
So with Sami Zayn, they come across very well.
Doing what, though?
Pretty much just putting over how great Nakamura is, because Nakamura can't say it.
Yeah, but Nakamura's not doing anything.
Well,
like, Sami Zayn is the manager for a guy who just lost the Intercontinental title who's not really headed anywhere. And Cesaro's there, too. He's also not really headed anywhere.
Well, Nakamura, as you know, is going to go up for the number one contendership at the Elimination Chamber. So he's still in the mix.
Okay, you know he's not winning.
He's in the mix. He's
he's not winning.
He's a contender. Sami's got to hype that. Sami's still busy.
Okay. You see Harry Smith was on The Bump this week?
That's nice. He challenged Cesaro for whatever reason, right?
WWE going to sign Harry Smith again? British Bulldog's son? Great wrestler.
Well, after he's done with Japan, right? Because he's going back to Japan.
When?
Apparently very
What
soon.
company?
I think it might be with New Japan.
I don't think so. I think he's done with New Japan.
Well, I'm very positive he's going back to Japan. Look it up.
Okay.
He's going back.
Maybe All Japan or something?
Maybe.
Maybe a DDT? But I don't think he's going back to New Japan. Maybe. I could be surprised. Who knows? I like him, though. He's a super talent. WWE should hire him. I don't know why he's not under contract right now. Let's get to NXT TakeOver Portland, all right? Rhea Ripley defending the NXT Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. Rhea's going on to face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. There is no chance that she loses this match. I think it'll be good. I'm a big fan of Bianca Belair's. I like Rhea Ripley as well, but Rhea's going to face Charlotte. We've already set that up with promos. Come on.
Right. It's not about who's going to win or lose. It's about how good the match is going to be. And this is Bianca's time to shine, to really show herself.
Yeah, she's got to deliver.
Well, I think she can deliver. I don't think it's like, oh, you have to, without a doubt, because they'll hype it like crazy anyways. Mauro will say this is one of the greatest matches ever without it even actually being one of the greatest matches ever. So the hype machine's already there.
And the crowd will chant, this is awesome, even if it's not that good.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about that. It's just for you personally, like, is this good for me?
Is NXT the most overhyped brand in all pro wrestling?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like the fans and the announcers and everybody talks about NXT like it's better than it actually is. I watch NXT, I'm like, yeah, it's all right. People talk about NXT like it's the greatest wrestling show ever. It's okay at best.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of AEW fans who will probably say the same thing. And a lot of people will be like, it's okay.
I don't know, man. I watch a lot of wrestling. I thought Dynamite was way better than NXT this week.
It usually
I thought
is.
Dynamite was, better than Raw, too.
And look at the ratings. Dynamite won again.
Yeah.
They always win, apparently. So.
Yeah, NXT, yeah. Finn Balor taking on Johnny Gargano. This should be a good match.
I think this could seal the show.
Does Finn win?
Why not?
I don't know, because Johnny Gargano's like a big guy in NXT. He's like one of the main guys. But Finn's back in NXT for a reason, right?
Well, I'm thinking, this is just my thought here, I think Finn wins this, and we have a new NXT champion that probably Finn will go up and face, so makes the most sense to me.
That makes sense. So you think Tommaso Ciampa beats Adam Cole, becomes the new NXT champion, the men's champion?
That's correct.
Okay. I think that's probably going to happen. Adam Cole's been champion forever.
It's been well over a year, right?
Right?
Or close to it.
He won the NXT championship.
Was it last year WrestleMania, or was it even before then?
Let's see here. I'll try to find NXT championship. December? No, that can't be.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. He has been. He's definitely, I think, the longest reigning champion NXT's had.
No, he wasn't champion at the Rumble.
He's
2018.
He's also a two-time champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah. He's been champion for a very long time. I can't tell exactly how long, but it's been forever.
I think it's time for Ciampa to get the title back. You can't tell he didn't really lose, right? He had to forfeit it, much like Roman Reigns did, so it's kind of the same story.
Oh, he's a one-time NXT champion. Hold on a second.
No, but he's won different titles, though. I mean, he's been the tag team champion.
Oh, yeah. But he's a one-time NXT champion. He won it on June 1st, 2019. There we go.
Okay. So not quite a year, but he's getting there.
Yeah. I think he loses here to Tommaso Ciampa, though. I think this is it. I agree with you. I think we have a new NXT champion. It makes a lot of sense. We do Ciampa versus Finn Balor for the NXT title going forward. I don't know what you do with Adam Cole, but, whatever. The Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. They've been tag team champions for a long time, too. They're taking on the Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. They're my favorite part of NXT. Those vignettes that they did this week I thought were supremely entertaining. When Pete Dunne called Matt Riddle a smartass, and then Matt Riddle's like, "You beautiful man, this is no time for compliments. We got to figure out how we're getting to Portland." Like, just Matt Riddle's like, the bro attitude, the whole Riddle gimmick. I think it's fantastic. I think he's very funny. Reminds me of like a Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure type of character, He's good. I like Matt Riddle. I like Pete Dunne. I think they're really good together. I'd like to see them as the new NXT Tag Team Champions.
I think it very well could happen. This could be the fall of the Undisputed Era in this pay-per-view.
Good. I think they've made NXT kind of stale. Dakota Kai taking on Tegan Nox in a street fight. I think Dakota Kai's going to win. Dakota's the one that's turned heel on Tegan. I think she's going to win and keep sticking it to her.
I mean, it really could go either way. Tegan could win this as well. Dakota won this past week against Candice LeRae, so, I mean, they always flip-flop these wins back and forth. So
does it matter?
Well, I guess because they've been feuding for a while, so yeah, and they were friends, right? And she betrayed her and everything, so.
Who's invested in this?
Oh, the people that like these wrestlers. They have their fan base.
Okay. Keith Lee. I like Keith Lee. He's taking on Dominik Dijakovic. That's a good match. Those guys are good. NXT North American title on the line. Keith Lee won the title recently, though. I don't think he's going to drop it here.
Wouldn't be surprised this goes to a draw.
Do they have those?
It could happen. I've never seen it in NXT, but I wouldn't imagine.
They have time limit draws in NXT? Who do you think they are? AEW?
Well, I'm not saying time limit draw. I'm just saying it could be, interference or double count out or something.
Oh, okay.
This continues, I think.
Yeah. They've wrestled a lot, though.
I know, but they love it. They'll overkill it.
Yeah. The Mark Henry promo on NXT this week talking about the match was really good.
Fantastic. Good
stuff. Whenever you can get a guy like Mark Henry to kind of talk about Big Man and the history and then, put this match into perspective and, he really seemed into it. I thought that promo was great. Whoever had that idea is a really good idea.
It was fantastic, yeah.
Great stuff. Great stuff to build that match. Unusual, though. Usually to build a match, you're going to have promos from either Lee or Dijakovic, but this was Mark Henry talking about both of them, and it did a great job. I thought it was brilliant stuff there from NXT, and that's about it. We are overtime once again. Big Johnny, when is your next match? When can people see you in the ring?
So it'll be February 23rd in Montreal North, 4325 Industrial Boulevard. It's Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling. Bell time is 2 p.m., and I'm in the main event wrestling.
Of course, as you should be. Follow him on Twitter for more info at North Genesis, on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. RingsideReport.net is the website. Go check us out. If you missed our Valentine's Day special on Dave and Johnny Live, you definitely want to check out Johnny North's 50 Shades review right now at RingsideReport.net. Thanks to everybody helping us out on the radio side, and a big thanks to you for listening. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.